Your headphones, because we're in a new spot.
Yes, we are.
And it's the new H.E.R Temple Maine Event Live.
Yours.
Studio.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So excited
we got
about it.
Multiple rooms, and this is the podcast room. Mm-hmm. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, okay? Because we have been doing some good stuff, transitioning, making moves and stuff, good stuff, man. That's where we at with it. So really excited about this new space. It's like the energy is great, okay? I didn't go around doing my whole thing yet, but I did, but didn't, And
it's quiet. It smells good.
Oh, my word.
You got it painted.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he did a great job, so I'm very excited
Shout
about
out to
that.
Illinois.
Yes, Illinois did his thing, and it's coming together. We got a lot to do, so that sign that on air will look different, but right now that's what it is. We on air and we live in our new space.
We got a fresh start, a new beginning, and we're on episode 35.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Was you able to pull up your stuff?
Yeah.
Are you good? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're working with. And I like this one, value and worth.
Episode 35, value and worth. Welcome to the Dear Love and Lust podcast. I'm your host, Jumaine Maine Event Brown, alongside Bklyn Shay, Shavina Richardson. Dear Love and Lust shares perspectives from both a man and a woman, male and female, in response to submitted anonymous questions regarding love, sex, and relationships. Now, we've been gone for a minute, so we don't really got much questions today from other people. But we do have some topics and things we're going to get into regarding value and worth. Mm-hmm. So, let's just jump right into it.
I'm loving it. So, and we just want to echo the fact that we are just two people that have been through so much. We are not experts whatsoever, all right? So, don't hold us to anything on here other than just having a good time and for entertainment purposes only.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
That's what we do. I like these chairs. I get to move.
Right, and they soft.
They're soft.
I heard you. He was like, we need some cushioning for these chairs, right? Good back support, feels good. It's a good vibe. All right, can you talk about this merch on this table real quick?
Oh, we definitely got the Dear Love and Lust glasses, both. The wine.
Correct, and this is your whiskey glass.
And my favorite.
Yes.
The whiskey glass.
Had to make sure to take care of Maine carefully here, dealing with the little tootsie.
You can definitely holler at Bklyn Shay how to get those.
Absolutely. I was like, I gotta have them doing right now. Gotta get them right. Not that we wasn't right before, but it's how we look out for each other.
This feels, we don't have no background noise, no Lord. Extra. Technically, we're in this space by ourselves. There is one tenant in the front office, but they are never here.
Absolutely. And we are taking just full advantage of this opportunity in such a great way. So.
Shout out to Brandon Bellamy.
Hello, Realtor boy.
My fam, the dude that helped us find and locate this spot. If you need any commercial real estate, opportunities that you're looking for, holla at Brandon Bellamy.
Holla.
My boy does his thing.
Yes. But you see what can happen when great minds come together? It's like, come on now. Stop playing with us.
Exactly.
Don't play with us. Don't play with us. So, you going to dive in? You going for the first one?
Well, you might as well ask the question.
I can ask it for a man. Yes,
since
I can.
It's directed to us men.
To you men in this world. All right. So here we go. Question 1. Do men still value marriage, Maine?
Let me sip my water first.
You need to. I want to know.
In general, the answer would be yes.
Really?
However, how they value it has changed.
Do tell.
So there has been an awakening amongst men, especially high value and middle class men. As we can see with the exploits of social media, the constant narrative is being spoken on repeatedly.
Okay. Come on now.
And men are having a virtual temper tantrum because our eyes have been opened up to realize that many of the traditional values that have been placed on marriage and relationships, there's a lot of weight on our shoulders where we have expectations and we're needed to do something. And there are now men, some of us, not all, that are making that list and comparing the list of what's required of us in comparison to what's required of a woman, speaking of traditional relationships.
Okay.
And it's not mathing.
No, I would agree with that part.
You know, there was an old skit a couple years ago, pre-pandemic. A dude was about to leave for work, and he was talking to his girlfriend. Okay. And he had asked her to do something. And she basically said, well, that's wifey level. That's a wife level. I'm not your wife.
Right.
So you can't expect me to do that. So he was a little perplexed. And he asked her a simple question. She's like, well, do you want to marry me? She's like, yes. He said, and why do you want to marry me? Well, you have a lot of husband qualities. You're a great provider. You take care of the home. You handle the, bills and responsibilities. She's like, now, wouldn't you say those are qualities of a husband? She was like, well, yes. It was going over her head. And he was like, am I not doing those things now as a boyfriend with husband qualities? You expect those things of me now, but I can't expect those things of you as a girlfriend who I may want to be my wife. Now she's catching on. Now her face is changing and it's like, huh? He was like, the funny thing about those things that you described, that's just me normally.
Right.
I don't need nothing extra, no extra titles to do that. That's just what I do.
Okay.
So why do I have to wait for you to be a wife to have wifely qualities? Scene cut.
As it needed to be. So I would agree with everything that you just now said, but I always double back and say, like, it goes both ways. Like, you definitely have men, unfortunately, that want a whole hell of a lot and are not reciprocating the same type of energy. Okay? So that is when I would say, do men still value marriage? I believe that we all value it. It's just at a different level right now, just as what you said. So I'm echoing it. And that level and those value systems have, to me, from a woman's perspective, have changed just because of the narrative of life and what's expected. Like back in the day, we clearly know, a wife took care of home, husband went out there, hustled, bustled, and was the provider. I still feel to this day, because of how I grew up, that a husband should be a provider. A husband should be someone that you can place your trust in, and a leader in the sense that you're willing to follow if need be. And you guys are working on the same page, and that collectively, whatever partner you choose, because it could be whomever, right? So in general, it's like now everybody is either for self and not really focused on the value system of how a family is supposed to look like. And if I can't, speaking for myself, trust the fact that you can lead and you can provide and you can take care of your family, God forbid, especially we living in such uncertain times, that you cannot collectively, and we can't collectively have your family wise have this sense of security, knowing that you're going to be able to protect us. I really would say I really don't want to be a part of it. Yeah, I don't want to be a part of it. And I don't want to be a part of it just because that's a huge thing that people are missing. You know, like when we were saying before in a couple of episodes back, like love is not enough. Like there has to be levels to it on so many levels.
The difference is we grew up with the Hollywood idea of what love and relationships is. Our parents grew up with the actual realistic traditional way, and that's why many of them actually stuck together as long as they did. And they still
together to this day.
They weren't looking for
an out.
Not even just out. They weren't looking for the fantasy.
True.
They were looking for stability.
Yeah.
And what they did value was trust, communication, and not only did the man provide, but the woman also nurtured, took care of home.
Correct.
As that Hollywood love interjected into society where everybody's focused on romance and, instead of being in a actual business contract, also under religious guidelines of love and marriage, it was all about the fantasy. Who makes me feel the best?
Yeah. And I don't know that I'm grateful that we grew up the way that we grew up because those values are there. Definitely have a little bit of a tweak, on certain things because I'm with the whole, be submissive to a certain degree. But in that certain degree means like it's always on like some give and take stuff. Like you're gonna get what you give.
You talk about submission. Submission has been tweaked, and it ain't about you do what I tell you.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm just saying in general.
No, I know that. But that's what I'm saying. I don't have a problem with the concept of submission. You understand what I'm saying? But I said before, reciprocation. Like it has to go both ways. Like there's levels to all things when it comes to a courtship, a relationship, a marriage, the whole 9 yards. And when we're talking about how men value things now and whether or not if they take marriage seriously, I value marriage as much as the next person, but I know for a fact that the person who, if I ever do that again, okay? If I ever do that again, it is definitely going to be way more than just love, okay?
Yeah,
I love that person on that type of level. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was young when I got married, so it really is. My whole mental model is totally different than before. But
well, that's the thing. There's levels, even, as I was interrupted with the submission point.
Whatever. It's helpful.
Nah, because there's a lot of women who don't want to give into that because they're under the ideology that submission is, I got to listen to what you say. And that's not what it is. And a lot of men have the misconception of that's what it is. And they believe because they do X, Y, and Z, you're supposed to do whatever I tell you to do. Now, there are some traditional, beliefs where that may actually be the case. But in modern times, that's not the level of it. It's deeper than that. The submission, in my opinion, comes into play when that man is doing all the things that he needs to do, but also providing the comfort and the space and trust where it is, I'm willing to let you lead without interjecting unless I feel that you're not seeing something that you probably should, I'll bring it to your attention. Right. But even after that, if you still choose to that, I'm going to rock with you because I trust and believe in you,
right? Whether
I'm right or wrong. That's the different levels. Right. It's not just sit in the corner and wait till I come home.
Right. I mean, times have changed.
and a lot of women have an issue with that word because that's how they look at it.
Yeah, I think people have grown and evolved. I mean, when at least the people I'm around, like I just came back from a trip out in Seneca Falls with Miss Wilcox, and it was an amazing trip with a bunch of women to celebrate Women's Her Story Month and stuff like that, which we are, currently still in. And we went to the Harriet Tubman home and her 25 acres of land that she purchased for $1,450. You hear me?
Yeah, way back then.
$1,450. Okay. And the land is still occupied to this day and it was just amazing. But I bring that up to say that the level of awe we all was in based off of who she was, learning a little bit more facts than what they've had in the movie of Harriet and stuff. And then we went to the Women's Hall of Fame and learned a little bit more just in general about, what people went through clearly to get us the rights and the freedoms that we are afforded today, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of the traditional women or semi-traditional, such as myself, because we have traditional values and stuff, but we grew up and we saw some stuff, so we're not trying to do all them things. And I think that's where you go back to this question about, do men value currently, marriage? I think you guys have grown up too and have witnessed a whole lot what you started out with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So everybody wants that person that they know they can depend on, and it's like in a marriage, that you have that security, that you have someone who, if it's done right, is going to be there for you. And without a shadow of a doubt, just like you said, falling back and saying, even if I don't agree with you, I'm still going to support you just because that's something that you're going hard with, right? Mm-hmm. And I think if that was the situation where you echo that throughout the marriage, then people will collectively truly believe in the value of marriage wholeheartely.
Well, then there's a number of people, as you were talking about, what they grew up seeing as marriage was more traumatic than, great. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if their parents, argued and fight all the time and ended up in divorce, marriage doesn't look like a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the mental model. That was kind of like what was the part on, if anybody's watching BMF, where, that scene and that, coming off the kitchen and the stairs. And you're like, wow, the daughter, the little one, spoke some truth. She's like to her father, like, I'm never getting married. I'm never having kids. Like, this is horrible, Yeah, so it's like, if that is your...
They're in the trap.
Yeah, I'm witnessing, my family falling apart, and if that's what it is and that's what it looked like, then that's what I want, Like, my mom, was married to is still married to my step pops, and he came in, but my dad was always a part of our lives. Like, they made sure to keep that foundational stuff there. And did we grow up in a blended family? Yes, we did. But we grew up in a family system that had a great foundational value system. So that's what I go off of. So hence the reason people are like, oh, why you are not in a relationship? Okay. I said, because I choose to date. I was choosing to date exclusively to give somebody
a
chance.
That's a relationship, but we're going to go there later.
So there is a difference.
It's a form of a relationship, but we
go, man.
Whatever.
Yeah, that
whatever. Mm-hmm. You're just dating exclusively.
Yeah, I was.
Was? Don't be speaking past tense.
Yeah, I definitely was. And that's point blank, period.
We gonna leave that alone.
We will. Today. Because we are focused on value and worth, and that's part of it.
Here's another thing.
That's part of it. Okay?
We R.I.P. Kevin Samuels. There's an era of him and other platforms on social media and just general media in general, that Kevin Samuels got the bad reputation of bashing women, especially black women. But that's because most of the people only saw the clips. They didn't see the whole thing.
Oh, I watched the whole thing, and I still was not impressed.
He had some valid points, and he had some trashy points. As with anything else. I don't hold it with a grain of salt, but, to each their own.
Period.
There are a lot of men who see themselves as high-value men. When they're not.
So we segueing into the next question, so go ahead.
And what ends up happening is those men see themselves as greater than they may actually be.
Praise the Lord.
So their value of marriage is based on, well, what can you do for me? Because I know what I can do for you. And blah, blah, blah.
Yes, sir.
So it's kind of tainted, They're waking up, but they still got one eye closed.
Point blank, period. Okay.
And then there are women who, again, don't understand what a high value man is. And they are limited to the dollar amount or the perceived dollar amount. So, a dude that might be making $50,000, $70,000 a year, no, you're not making enough for her. If you're not in the high six figures, I'm not dealing with you. Meanwhile, she's his next door neighbor. She living in the same element.
Exactly.
Some of them are even living at home with their mama still.
Listen.
But they have an expectation of a man that's up here.
But they there. Yeah.
So, it's a lot of warped sense of what things is. So, moving on to our next question.
Sound like it was. Man.
Do women only want a high value man?
And as I was saying earlier, okay, the new wave, okay, which I have witnessed some of my peoples being on that wave, they absolutely want a high value man. But I would agree with what you said, and I'm this doesn't happen too often, but it's been happening more than not. The level of a high value man for them is just like, to me, unrealistic.
In comparison to who they are.
In comparison to not only who they are, but just unrealistic when you thinking about the type of society that we're living in, So it's like, we know opposites attract. And this is one of the conversations I was having with a good sister on the bus ride. And she was saying how when she met her husband, he was a cook, and she is a established, career-focused, driven woman. And he had, should I say, goals, right? He had goals that he wanted to accomplish, and he was ambitious enough and wanted to provide for her and wanted to show her that he was not necessarily a high value man, but a man of value.
Gotcha.
Okay. And in doing so, he worked his ass off in order to get to where he is today, so that they have the lifestyle that they want to live collectively together. But in that process of him becoming who he was intended to be, she supported him. And was very understanding of, whatever his, situation was. And I said, I totally receive that, and I totally respect that. Like, not everybody is going to be where you are.
Right.
And that tends to be like...
There's a process that occurs.
Correct. There is a process. So when someone has said to me, they was like, oh, you're dating below your means. Like, why are you dating men that you should be dating like doctors and lawyers and all sorts of type of stuff? And I said, whoa. I said, really? I said, do you know they come with the same shit? Yeah. Let's just understand it. Yeah. And bigger shit, because they really think worse. Right, because they truly believe that they can buy you. Yeah. And they truly believe that they got control over you to the degree that, oh, guess what? I'm the cream of the crop. I could do whatever I want to do. People are lining up at my door because they want to date a doctor or whatever. And that's not for me. You know, I'm like, I am a person who's an empath, so I truly value people in general, and I have a giving heart. So, hello, I'm not going to just be with somebody just off of what you have in your bank account. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like everybody has an ability, depending on what your circumstances are and what your value system is, to determine what is going to work for you. Right. You know, and somebody just like, you know, what my friend was saying, and she's like more of a sister, it doesn't matter where they start. It's how they finish. So that's the part is, and that's collectively.
The quickest way for black folks to get rich is to have two income household.
Period. And I would agree with that. Totally.
If two people are making $50,000 a year, that's $100,000 household.
Right.
And if you're actually working together, you can actually flip that into more.
Right.
And you're able to get other things like credit, property.
Exactly.
With that credit.
Period.
And grow your income where now you no longer need to go to a 9-to-5.
Right.
Now, if you do, you're choosing to.
Right. Business minded. That's what I say. You just got to be on the same wave with people sometimes. You know, it's like, it's what you value. It's what you, who are you to yourself? You know what I'm saying? Do you love yourself enough to say, hey, is this worth it? You know?
So what I will add to this, it's not always the women's fault why there's a desire for a high value. Growing up as a young man, most of the information I got on how to get women is you have to impress them. You got to buy them things. You have to do X, Y, and Z to get them to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
Nothing had to do with catering to them or being in a, you know, you're literally trying to manipulate them into liking you by the things you do and the things you have. So a lot of men's goals are, you know, to get the fly crib, apartment, whatever, the nice cars, the jewelry, the nice clothes, because that's going to draw them in.
Right.
But then how do you treat these women?
Right. And then
you don't get that information unless, you know, like, shout out to my parents. My stepfather is my dad. I don't know I don't know anybody else. They've been together 40 plus years.
There you go. There you go. So we're talking a shout out to them.
I've watched them grow to every different level. So they constantly communicate. Yep. You know, they fuss and fight like everybody else.
Correct.
But at the end of the night,
yeah, there you go.
They're in the same bed. They're watching the same show.
There you go.
They're going to sleep. In peace.
In peace. And that is the biggest, oh my gosh.
So,
yeah,
you know, a lot of the narratives around high value men and the women that want them are very, very warped.
Yeah, I would agree.
So
I would agree. And I say that because depending on the type of women that are out there that are seeking to be more eye candy than they are to be of value. Shout out to you, but you know,
that's the other thing. Men make it easier for them to have that belief because we are wired to be attracted to the eye.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, what's interesting to me as I've gotten older is the stuff that women do to attract men and what they consider high candy. As you get older, it doesn't register the same.
No, that's why some people, you ever heard, and y'all write in on this one, please, okay? when a woman will look at another woman, or they marry, like, okay, somebody who is a quote unquote a 10 or whatever, and they married to somebody who is a high value man, and that high value man end up cheating on them for somebody who is not necessarily what they look like, right? And they're like, how the hell could he cheat on me with her or whatever, this, that, and the third. And it's like, let me tell you something. What most men want is peace. If you are not adding, as we say, tax or adding to that, and I'm not condoning anybody cheating, so before y'all come for me. But what I'm saying is that the point I was making was in regards to the person who looked like the bomb diggity, and they are then feeling, wow, I cannot believe he cheated on me with that.
There's a clip I've seen on Instagram with a white man arguing with his wife, and she's trying to figure out why he's cheating on her, and she's going in, and he's just like,
"You're proving my point."
Yeah, you're proving. He's like, she's like, "What do you see in her?" Like she is like, he was like, she listens. And when we want to relax and chill, we relax and chill. When we want to, she doesn't nag. She's not doing this. Right. I'll see you when I get home.
Listen to me when I tell you. Check this out. So I'm waiting. We pull up to our destination. Everybody's getting out. The husbands are lined up with their cars, waiting for their wives to get off this bus because it was a woman's trip. And one of the women in the back, she says, "Oh, there go my husband," right? So so the lady, no, nothing happened, nothing popped off or whatever like that. It was various, ethnicities on the bus. So she says, so the lady's like, "Oh yeah, there he go," and then he walks towards where the bags are. But you can't see the bags, but the guy's unloading the truck, at the bus. So she's standing up next to me, and she was like, "He's such a good boy." Yo, all I did was just kind of like go like that, and I was just like, So he gets her bag and he's taking it to the car, and she was like, "Yes, he is just such a good boy. Like, he's just, he drives me around all over the place because, I'm just not a good driver. He does this, he does that, like, he's just phenomenal." She was like, "Oh my goodness, he's just such a good boy." And I'm like, this grown ass woman is referring to this man who has no clue that she's calling him a boy on this bus. And I was like, that's another topic. It is always these women that get the good guy. And I'm like, what the hell is that all about? I just don't even understand it. But that's another topic for another day.
I'll give you some pushback on that. It's not always. What ends up happening is you are in a situation where that person is amplified. You remember that because it stood out to you that, he's doing this. And what she said... The boy part was disrespectful to me. It was not reflective of the type of energy that you would expect from a woman who got a good man. Right. But that negativity is amplified. It's just like... If you're in a like, this whole wall is black. If I put a white spot right here, that white spot's gonna stand out forever. Like, no matter what, the wall is black, but you see this one little white spot.
Don't do that.
And it's gonna be more known.
Don't do that. I have a level of OCD that it will drive me insane. So her presence just standing next to me was working my nerve first off, because I'm like, you're ungrateful. That's what we do. Like, it was just ungrateful. No, it wasn't. It was amplified, but it was to the point of I felt she was just ungrateful, point blank, period. Yeah. Because in that moment, one, you being disrespectful, calling him a boy, and like, that's a whole grown ass man to me out there doing your bid, showing up here, and they was older too. So I just was like, oh my word, okay, the level of you just don't appreciate shit. That's how I felt.
So when you see this later, Miss Lady, stop calling your man a boy.
Point blank. Period.
Especially to other people.
Woo. It was just disrespectful. All right, what we got?
We got one more, and then we on the Shay's topic. What's the next one?
Hey. What's the most important thing when starting a relationship? Maine.
So I'll say this. I like the question, but the question it doesn't really. It's not a blanket statement. It's not a one-word answer for that.
Okay.
Because everybody is different. Everybody has their different values. So what I would say the most important thing for a relationship is to find somebody that matches you. Either it's your yin or your yang, or y'all literally are zipped.
Energetically connected.
Y'all connect. Y'all
synergy.
mesh. Y'all have a level of synergy. You have a level of communication that is unbreakable.
Right.
You know each other. Like the back of your hands.
Period.
But outside of that, it's not a one answer thing. You have to figure out what makes the most sense to you. You know?
But this is like one of them ABC questions, Maine. Okay, so like an ABC question, you can't choose, all of the above on it, and they ask you what is the most. I hated those questions in school, by the way. What is the most important piece of this essay?
So to you, what is the most important thing for you?
You didn't answer the question, so the one. What's the most important thing?
I just said you making sure that you actually are meshed and you're with somebody that is either your yin and yang, or you literally are on the same page. Because if you're not,
point blank period, say less. So the most important thing to me in the starting, because that was part of the question, starting a relationship, to me would be communication. That would be, to me, the most important piece of it, outside of the backup with the, physical, visual attraction, communication. Because if you start out bad, I can't imagine it getting any better.
Well, let me give you some pushback.
But, sometimes you do, because then you get to know the person's likes and don't likes. But communication, to me, is the most important thing when starting a relationship. So I answered the question.
Yeah, but here's a pushback.
Go for it.
Arguing is a form of communication.
It is. Confrontation is too. Yeah. And I think confrontation, honestly, is not bad. I think confrontation leads you to a solution. Okay, at some point in time, the solution of confrontation is what it is. But confrontation does not always mean the physical. Like, you having confrontation, like some people run from conversations, like they avoid them like the plague because they don't want to face the truth or don't want to offend someone. I'm more of the person that when I say I confront people, I'm going to confront you, because if something does not echo right with my spirit, I'm not sitting in it and not going to just like go with the flow. No, we're not going with the flow. We're going to address what the big elephant in the room and handle that. So in a relationship, if you don't start out setting appropriate boundaries and having that level of communication, like, no, I don't want to go to bed mad. I don't want to go to bed, on that type of level. I want to talk about whatever it is,
I think people just need to like each other.
Period. Because if you like the person,
and it's a difference between
there is. Come on, man. Yes.
Being attracted. Actually, like you like the things that might actually be annoying, but you like it because it's this person.
It's your person. Yeah. I'm telling you, I agree with that wholeheartedly. So, okay. Well, that's good stuff, man. In the essence, and we hope y'all feel that vibe too. You know what I'm saying? Here on Dear Love and List, values and worth type of thing. I like that. Topics, I like that. Yes, Maine. I do. Accountability.
Oh Lord. What are we about to unpack right now, Miss Exclusively Dating?
Accountability. Do you value a woman that holds you accountable when in the context of your relationship?
Yes.
But
there's levels.
Come on now. Tell me the levels, man.
Nagging somebody is not accountability.
Okay. Come on, tell me a little bit more. Unpackage that more.
So, here's a situation. We'll bring back your friend, right? She met to cook. He had goals. Mm-hmm. She probably held him accountable to help him get to those goals.
Right.
Now, one thing I've learned in my lifetime, you cannot want something more than someone else does.
Ooh, come on.
And when you realize that in a person, but you keep trying to push them further,
come on,
that no longer is accountability. That's just nagging. That's just being annoying. You're not actually. A person is only going to do what they want or are built to do. It don't matter how much you push or say whatever. And then you have a choice. Do you accept that person as they are or do you not?
Right, because some people see that as you trying to change them and make them into who you want them to be.
There's also levels of accountability where it actually has to match up with what they're actually striving for.
Right.
Just because your homegirl's man does X, Y, Z, but your man is pushing to do, MNLOP, doesn't mean you start nagging about X, Y, Z stuff.
I agree. Wholeheartedly.
That's not accountability. That's just nagging. That's just like, okay, he got a new BMW. I'm not focused on the BMW right now.
Right.
I'm trying to get us a bigger house.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get this bathroom remodel that you can complain about is too small, and we should have separate sinks so you can do your.
I agree, but
you said you were getting me the new Teflon bag. You didn't even go on the computer to be on the auction. We have a joint account. Why can't you do it and just the money's there? I'm focused on this.
Right. There's levels.
That's not accountability right there. That's just, you didn't get me what I want.
Basically. Okay. But in reference to the question of accountability.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying just in general of a woman holding you accountable or whomever, your partner, holding you accountable for some stuff that you may have said to them. So have you ever said something to your ex-wife at any point in time and you didn't follow through on it?
Not that I remember. I'm sure there probably were some things, but
okay.
I tend to, if I don't say what I'm going to do unless I'm going to do it. Like that is a big thing for me.
Come on now. I'm not
gonna sit there and make promises. Even if I know I can keep it, that's just not my nature.
Yeah. I think that's, for me, it's like a level of being consistent and being honest. Like that leads back to the beginning of what we talked about in terms of valuing marriage and stuff like that. Like if I can't depend on you, where are we at? You know what I'm saying? So it's like your word, as back in the days, your word is your bond. Like what you say, it's like now that's why people so go hard with it's actions over words. I don't give a damn what you say out your mouth. Like if you give me your word on something, then guess what? Your actions have to line up with those words.
Right.
Okay? And if you're not making no steady progression into what we talked about, then to me, you're being dishonest. And dishonesty leads to a bigger issue where now can I trust you? Can I trust what you say?
I got a big thing too.
Go for it.
So ladies, accountability does not mean withholding sex from your man just because he didn't do something you wanted him to do in that moment. But keep doing that. And you'll be sending on questions. I think my man is.
Stop it, okay? Don't even. Because man going to the point of saying like, no, because a man has to have, first off, a high value man.
All we going
has
there. Have to have what?
One, control, all right? Because just because your woman is withholding until you come through with whatever the hell she may have asked, that don't mean anything, all right, for you. That don't give you the right to go and now, oh, that's my card to go cheat. Absolutely not.
No, it does. Here's what you're not understanding. It's not about whether what the right is.
Oh, Lord,
but if you want, you got to understand who your man is.
Period.
Now, I'm not a man that will literally seek to cheat or find reasons to cheat. I don't get in relationships to cheat.
There's power in words, man.
That's why.
So you say you don't seek to cheat, but if it fell in your lap, you ain't saying I ain't jumping for it.
I've had back when I was married, and the fact that I was doing events, I'm out every weekend. The offers were abundant.
Yep.
And I did not take any of them.
Good job.
And I realized that, in hindsight, they only wanted me because I was
married. And unavailable.
It was an ego thing for them, because as soon as I was single, crickets.
Listen, welcome to the world of crickets. We can't get nothing at all right?
Still crickets.
Lord of mercy. It is a very interesting world out here that we are living. You know what I'm saying? Because you just think, like I had told you before, when I wasn't exclusively dating or whatever like that, and I was like, nobody don't be asking me out on no date. Nobody don't. It's like, I think I've asked one person to go out on a date, and it was my ex, and the person was like, what? Oh, I thought you was with so and so. And I'm like, oh, Lord of mercy. I think I'm going to have that freaking thing over my head, that cloud. The cloud. Yeah, exactly. Oh, y'all not together? Oh, okay. All right. Well, I saw, I don't want to hear what you saw or what you heard or whatever.
Believe it or not,
so
a lot of men have the level of respect to not encroach on other people because they don't want it done to them, one. And then the other thing is, we don't want no beef. We don't want no drama. We not fighting.
Yeah, some not all. Grown people are not, okay? First off, your bones don't work like they used to. So we get it, okay? We totally get it. And in this day and age, no, we're not. And I'm now 45, so I am on a whole nother wave, okay? Happy grandmother. Shout out to my grandbaby.
Oh, yes. And new grandmother.
Yes, I is.
This month.
Yes, I cannot even. So, it's like, I don't have time for that. I really don't. And it's like the peace, the things that you're trying to accomplish, the like-mindedness of a person who want to build with you and create an empire, pretty much. Like, that's where I'm at. And I'm like, I really could do without the foolishness on that type of level. Especially I work too damn much. Like, I don't have time for craziness. If I make time, I make time.
You don't just work too damn much. You work all the freaking time.
That's the truth.
If you find space beyond your sleep hours to do something, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, it's major. Yeah, it's major. I'm glad you know, because most people don't appreciate the fact that I'm like, you see me somewhere, you goddamn it, let me tell you something. I could be knocked out at this particular point in time.
You don't have much room.
No, I don't. Not at all. It's like goals is on the table, things to accomplish, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that extra, that residual, that money coming in is funding those type of things that I'm not going to do this forever. So I need to set the tone for what's coming. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. So
you single black grandmothers with a little bit of paper.
Woe is me, man.
I'm sorry, grandmothers.
I'm a grandma. I'm not no glamour. I don't know nothing what that is, okay? I grew up with the big mamas, so I'm okay with being called grandma. I'm all right with that. Like, I don't know what the other terms and all that other stuff. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
I got some time. You got 15-year-old.
Yeah, you do. Got some time.
She's
amazing.
A great kid.
Yes, I'm about to say she's amazing.
So I'm not worried.
Not at all, but okay. So that's all I got. I didn't have anything else. I know I can't wait till we really get into our live feeds and all that other type of stuff.
But what about accountability? What made you bring that up? There has to be something.
Just in general. people and accountability, you know? So that's all.
Yeah.
I was leading with that, you know? Accountability is big, just like a part of the communication is big, you know?
Has there been anybody that falls short of the grace and mercy of Bklyn Shay?
I wouldn't say they have fallen short at all, but you know, people, just like what you were saying in the beginning, people are who they are, you know, and whatever upbringing they may have had sometimes does not necessarily correlate with your value system. So, and it's okay. Like when you choosing to learn things about people, you're learning about each other, but you also know your levels. And my levels is that I cannot and I will not allow nobody to disrupt my peace whatsoever. Just like what you just got finished saying, I work a lot, and the time that I'm making or, you know, subtracting from doing other things that I could potentially doing, which is sleep, you know, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not wasting time with nobody on that type of level. It's like I'm not gonna repeat myself 1,000 times because one, I'm not your parent, and this is when you become like you're nagging someone. Why would I do that? Where you even have time to nag somebody? I don't. We had a conversation. You heard. You repeated it back. Okay, so there's no need for me to keep repeating myself to make it happen. If you don't want it, I guess you don't, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So my accountability and my level of accountability for my person would be, okay, where we at? If you can't do that, then maybe, you know, cool. I need to be where I'm at. You need to be where you at. And if it's going to come back on that level, then it will. But other than that,
nothing else.
That's where I'm at with my level of accountability.
Did you hear that? I hope you did.
So that's where I'm at.
Listen, folks.
The vibe.
When y'all see this episode, please leave in the comments. It will probably be on maineventlive.com/DearLoveAndLust. It would also be on Facebook.com/DearLoveAndLust.
Absolutely.
And yes, I will start actually uploading to YouTube.
Thank you, man.
For Dear Love and Lust. I want to get the old episodes up first.
Absolutely. As you should. And I'm loving it.
And catch some people up.
So what we got? What you got coming up?
March 25th, Spring Fever Aries Season is the next event at Albany Stadium Restaurant and Bar. Okay. Showbiz Live on a Tune, DJ Show, DJ Biz, and of course yours truly, Maine Event Live. Okay. We're celebrating a few birthdays. Shout out Khalid from Grade 8 Security.
Absolutely.
Shout out April, Miss Travel Luxury herself.
Okay. Shout out.
We got a few more that'll eventually be confirmed. But make sure you go on maineventlive.com, go to upcoming events, and hit on the Spring Fever link to get your tickets. Early bird tickets still on sale. If not, you can pay more at the door. Shout out to those who like to pay more at the door. I'm not complaining. But if you want to save a little bit of paper and use that extra paper towards another drink or some food, I suggest you get your tickets early.
Yeah, that food is good. Good stuff.
Shout out to Mel in the kitchen at Albany Stadium. Shout out to T, Lindsay, and all the bartenders, Rachel.
Absolutely.
Especially Steph.
Yes.
Steph, you already know.
Yeah. Much respect.
Yeah. So, trying to have a good, grown and sexy time. Working on some other things. You can definitely catch me. I'm trying to go and do live streams on a weekly basis on Mixcloud.com and also probably my website. DJ Show popped up on me last night. We did a quick hour-and-a-half set.
Love it.
It might still be available on Mixcloud.com, at least the audio.
Okay.
Mixcloud.com/Maine Event Live. Don't forget the E at the end of that Maine. What else? That's about it for now. But you can also definitely go on Maine Event Live and see all the upcoming events, the flyers on my page.
Like that, man.
What you got going on?
Well, outside of getting together this new space that we have here, I am getting prepared to celebrate United Sisters of New York. So shout out to my sisters in United Sisters of New York. We are celebrating 20 years of being established, okay? Clearly, I have not been with them for 20 years, but close enough, all right? I think I'm banging on the 11, 12, one way or another. But long story short, we will be celebrating on the weekend coming up next weekend, which is March 18th down at Franklin Plaza, Terrace Ballroom, because Plaza is the one downtown in Troy. So this one is off of Campbell's Avenue in Troy, not too far from where the Stewart's is at. So we have tickets still available. People can, it's a different location. Yep. This one is it's like a brunch type of style. So it's like from 12 to 4. That's what we're going to be doing. And we're going to just be celebrating and rocking out the 20 years of establishment. Shout out to Miss Tinica Wilcox, okay, she's the founder.
Is it Tinica or Tenica?
It's not Tinica. It's Tinica. But we call her Tinica because we just hard-headed and we just like to say it the way we see it, okay?
Tinica.
Yeah, it's Tinica. So Miss Wilcox, we love and appreciate you, and thank you so much for your service to the community and for helping young girls and women do what they do. Love you, love you, love you. So we'll have that. And then outside of that, Her Temple will be putting up clips, which you will be seeing on each member's pages. That's involving Women's History Month, Women's Her Story Month. And we are shouting out those people that we truly, genuinely admire, be it that they presently are here or they have passed and transitioned on. But we just want to give love and homage to just the people that matter, that have done a lot for women in history. So we are going to be embarking on that. The Vibration podcast is coming back, and there's a glass there, Maine. Can you show that? So we got merch for that because we got some ladies that really like some whiskey and just drinks in general. So we got merch for the Vibration podcast. We will be kicking that back off very, very soon.
Shout out
Vicky, yes.
Shout out.
Lady Lee.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like we're all coming back. Shout out to CB because those have been the consistent members of HTM that love to come on for the podcast and stuff like that. And we have various people in the community, which we'll be going back to that. Definitely bringing people on to talk about not just what's happening in the community, but the vibe of special topics and things. And we have some special stuff coming up. Episode of just Vicky and I are gonna happen first, so that should be interesting and fun because a lot has transitioned in months of us not putting stuff out there. So I want to business though. Yes, whatever, babe. It's a lot that's been happening. So we want to, get back involved with that, and then just the plays and productions and things. We're going to continue to just map out and definitely be producing some stuff here in a new space. And very excited about all of that. And I just want to say publicly, so when you do see this, Maine, you rock. And you are one of the few men in my life that I truly trust 110%. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to be a part of Dear Love and Lust and the opportunity to just embark on this partnership together. I appreciate you very much.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate you as well.
Thank you, Kumole. So
when you make a little bit of time for me, I know I'm special.
I know we don't get a chance to chill too much, but
feelings mutual.
Definitely.
Hopefully, in the next episode, we'll have a special guest on.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this one. She's beautiful.
Yeah. Shout out to Miss Markia Robinson. She has the 3rd annual Makers of a Man conference coming up in August. You can see more information on maineventlive.com and also mlkrobinsoninternational.com. I got to find out when she's next available. Hopefully we can do it next week.
Yeah.
So we can get that on.
Yep. Should be pretty good.
It's a high-value woman.
Absolutely. Come on now.
Beautiful inside and out, so I'm sure she's got a lot to say about value.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna go there for sure. But I mean, that's pretty much what we got. It's great to be back in full effect. Okay, the room will be looking a little bit more different the next time. But
Bklyn Shay put her touches on things.
Absolutely, still got a lot more to do, but we here for it. Absolutely. So, with that being said, Maine,
this concludes the 35th episode of Dear Love and Lust. Make sure you follow us on maineventlive.com/Dear Love and Lust and our Facebook page, facebook.com/Dear Love and Lust. And coming soon to YouTube, sooner than later.
Yes.
We also got merch and apparel merch.
Yep.
Holla at Bklyn Shay for the glasses.
Please do.
And you'll see some links on maineventlive.com/shop. Follow Bklyn Shay and myself on all social media. Check out the movement with H.E.R Temple. I always want to say H.E.R Temple monologue.
I know you do.
But it's just H.E.R Temple. Because that's how I got to know it. I had H.E.R Temple monologues.
H.E.R Temple monologues is still that.
H.E.R Temple.
Just hit us up.
In all the upcoming ventures.
It still is H.E.R Temple monologues. Finally, we ain't dropped that, man. Don't be trying to put that out there to that movie.
But here's the difference. H.E.R Temple is an entity of in itself.
That's a fact.
H.E.R Temple does H.E.R Temple monologue.
Period. I like how you receive such a good marketing person.
I know what I be doing.
It's all good. The rebranding is real. Thank you, Maine.
Exactly.
I'm here for it.
So, finally, if you have any questions on love, sex, and relationships, email us at dearloveandlust@gmail.com or hit us up on any of our social media, Bklyn Shay or Maine Event Live
drop
directly.
those questions.
You can let us know if you want to be anonymous or not. We ain't got no problem, and we ain't talking about nobody else's business in that manner. And we'll respond to them in the upcoming episodes.
Loving you.
And with that,
we want to say peace.
Peace.